Welcome back, everyone. Today's April 22nd. Today's video will be about, firstly, a weekly update, how things are going. Also, just some motivation for anybody that's struggling as a trader. I'm also going through peaks and valleys myself, but more so peaks rather than the valleys, based on the last, I would say, 2 weeks. I was, I do see some progress. I do see way more progress than I figured I'd see, which is great. And I'm gonna share my screen. But before I share my screen, I wanted to share this quote. This is from Mark Douglas, and it's based on his book Trading in the Zone. So this is the best traders have evolved to the point where they believe without a shred of doubt or internal conflict that anything can happen, which means that regardless of how good or how A plus of a trade that you think you have, regardless of what you think, what you believe, how much selling pressure you might expect to come into a potential sell opportunity in the market, there can always be someone on the other side of the country, which it only takes one person to believe that price, they can profit from price going in the opposite direction. And that bet that they place at that moment can affect you or everyone else who is anticipating for price to go in their opposite direction. So that just means, regardless again of how A plus of a setup you may think that you have, stick to proper risk management and you would not have any issues with blowing your account. You don't have to have the concern in your mind about blowing your account ever again, because this is what is it sets a solid foundation so that you're not being reckless with your trades, and most importantly, you're using proper risk management every time you place a trade. Buy a security, sell a security, no matter what you do, you're going to use proper risk management. Now, um, I'll start sharing my screen. And so here I'm working on, speaking with customer service about only looking at r risk, not risk, percentage. So win rate percentages based on like my P&L, profit and loss percentage. Not sure why this pop-up comes up. So I'm speaking with customer service about that because I care now more about percentage rather than dollar amounts. And what I want to share with you guys is, I know last week I showed you guys that I stayed in two trades, an NZD-JPY trade and an AUD CAD trade. So my experience on the AUD CAD trade is that I got stopped out today. So I finally got stopped out. Not that I wanted to get stopped out, but um instead of, because I'll tell you guys how long I stayed in this trade for. I stayed in the trade for about, oh, almost a week. So 6 days. About 6 days I stayed in this trade for, and price finally took me out. Um, so I mean, if I felt relieved once it took me out, mainly because as a swing trader, I'm really looking to stay into a trade between like 2 days, maybe a day to like 5 days. But honestly, the market could do whatever it wants. So even if it took me 3 weeks for that trade to hit, I would have still stayed in it. It didn't really matter to me. It could have been 2 months. I still would have been in the trade. Because if I withdrew from this, I would be going against my trading plan as a swing trader. Um, so I'm okay with that. NZD-JPY. This is the update on the trade. So I got stopped out the first time and I re-entered. For those of you who know my trading system. In my trading system, I implement only one re-entry on a direction for a potential opportunity trade. So being that I got stopped out this first time, there's only one more second time that I have as a chance to get into entering this trade for my directional bias that I think price would move in, which would be this right here. So I entered on a lower time frame. You can see why I entered, but yeah, I entered. And so far, I'm up, running in profits. Now, the only other opportunities I could see playing out for this week is one on GBP CHF. I would look on the 15-minute time frame since we're overall bearish on literally almost every high time frame. I'm looking for bearish opportunities around this area of interest. And this is a daily area of interest. So once price comes up here, let's look for a 15-minute market structure shift. If we get it and we take it. If not, we don't get in and we just allow price to do whatever it wants. So price is gonna do whatever it wants anyways, but if there's some bearish opportunities to catch for the sell, for the potential sell, then we'll catch it. Proper risk management, obviously. Not gonna over leverage. And worst case scenario, if price continues making bullish moves, then I'm not even going to enter the trade. And another opportunity I see is probably on gold. So the only pairs or the only commodities and indices that I look at on a daily, weekly basis for areas of interest, or don't look at areas of interest on the daily and weekly level, is gold, US 30, NASDAQ. Everything else, I'll look for daily and weekly areas of interest. So before I enter a trade, there has to be a daily and weekly area of interest. But based on my experience, especially with trading gold, it respects market structure a lot, regardless of if there's a daily or weekly area of interest type of supply or demand zone. So since this is the 4 hour low, this is the most recent 4 hour low, I'm expecting for price to take out, because if you look at the daily time frame on Sunday, you can see that let me just actually delete this arrow right here. So you can see that on Sunday, price literally just appeared to be bullish and then it just kept on going. So most likely what we're gonna have is we're gonna have price come and take this candle's low out to create an actual low, and then we're probably gonna push to uh a take profit, which would be creating a higher high. Because if we look at the 4 hour time frame, you can see that this is the 4 hour low. So we could get I would expect for if price doesn't make another 4 hour low, I would keep this as our 4 hour low. And once price pulls back, we could see the 15-minute time frame even wick this out and then do a market structure shift. And then we do something like this, or we can just see price do something like this, something similar to this on the 15-minute time frame. And then we do at least a 1 to 2, look for at least a 1 to 2. Then we target the high, creating a newer high. So that is what I'm expecting that could potentially play out this week. But if it doesn't give us that, which I have my alert set there literally for that low, if that doesn't happen, if we don't get that 15-minute shift, then I just won't look to trade gold this week. So I'm not forcing any trades. That's kind of really all that I'm really looking out for this week. Other than that, I'm gonna stay in this NZD JPY pair trade. And based on last week, you can see that last week I ended off last week around, I would say it might have been around 151. So my equity was 151, but because I took this L on odd CAD, so AUD CAD, you can see that I lost $9.70, which means The only reason my balance is at 149 is because I'm running in profit with this NZD JPY pair. So it was a good trade for the AUD CAD pair just because if I lost, which I did lose, it was me losing about $8 plus fees made it $9. Now if I won that trade, if the market went in my favor, then I would have been up I would have profited about $85. Now for this trade, this NZD trade, I'm risking as little as 6.5 57%. Now, I'm a huge advocate of risking 5%, but in this case, when I was taking the trade, it was either I risked like 3% or 6%. I wasn't going for 3, so the closest that I went for had to be 6.5. And so that means I'm risking $9 for a potential profit of 106, which means my equity would grow about 71%. And if I keep up these types of winning trades, you're gonna see this account grow over, it'll look like it grew overnight, even though it's taking a couple, it's taking a little while. And it doesn't matter if it's a $50, $100 account, $200 account, $1,000 account that you're starting with. Preferably, if you're still looking to become a successful trader, then it probably makes sense for you to start on a lower account than it does to just jump out the gates and throwing hundreds of or even thousands of dollars into trading accounts. Because doesn't matter how much you're trading with, it's not all about the profits. It's really about the process at the end of the day. So I even had people that I know say, if they ask me, oh, you're trading with like a $15,000 live account or $30,000 live account with their own money. And once I've said, oh, I'm only trading with like a 150 or $200 account, I've I've gotten like the side eye and stuff like that. So, um, whatever you got, trade with it. I wouldn't say like, throw all your money into a trading account, but as long as you have a strategy that can realistically work on $100, any strategy can work on like $100 account. So you really don't need money to start making money in the markets based on my experience. And you're always gonna have doubters. Um, if you're still, you know, looking to become a successful trader, you're still in your journey, you're on your path. I encourage you guys to just keep on going because if you're a lot like me, and you have maybe one person, maybe your girlfriend like myself, that is rooting for you to become a successful trader. Um, I mean, realistically, you could be your own cheerleader at the end of the day. You don't have to have someone by your side cheering you on and stuff like that when it comes to being a successful trader. Because most of the time we're in our own world and everything is noise. Everything you see on YouTube, a lot of time, most of the times is noise. Most of the things that you see on Instagram is noise. I'm sure you guys have heard of people owning their own like brokerage account or having like back end access to like brokerage accounts and stuff like that in order to fudge their wins, right, and their losses. But uh I would say I'm a lot like you as a YouTube, like as a viewer, as you are viewing this, watching this video. I would say I'm a lot like you. Still uh working towards being a successful day trader. Not sure if you on the other side of the screen have tested a funded account. I personally uh had an account that I got as a I signed the contract to get access to the funded account, and then I pretty much blew it. So I didn't get any payouts. So I'm still working towards a funded account in order to actually profit with uh an evaluation after getting evaluated as a trader. Right now, I don't have any live prop firm accounts, but I want to guarantee you guys that uh you can I believe you can make as much as you want, and I also believe that whatever trading strategy, as long as you have an edge, like you have to realistically have an edge. And if your edge allows you to if your edge includes you looking for at least a 1 to 2, so on top of you having the edge, excuse me, on top of you having the edge, and also having at least a 1 to 2 risk to reward on your trades, then you should be a profitable trader. You should be a profitable trader. I, in my opinion, 100% of your trading journey should 100% go in your favor if you have at least a 1 to 2 risk to reward plus an edge in the markets. So that's my take on that. And as long as you're not over trading, right? You just have a solid plan, you don't overtrade, proper risk management, and at least a 1 to 2 risk to reward with an edge in the markets, that should 100% get you to where you need to be. And that's since I've been believing in that type of statement, my trading has changed tremendously, especially because someone like Mark Douglas has shared the fact that all it takes is one person at the end of at the opposite end, like at the opposite spectrum of the world, to just invest a significant amount of money into the opposite direction to where it pushes price in the complete di opposite direction of where your bias is headed. And just like that, you can be taken out. So with that in mind, that should definitely help so that you stick to the process, you don't focus on profits, you continue with the exact risk management that you promised yourself. You just stay consistent and just don't pour all of your money into an A plus setup just because you think, it's 1,110% gonna go in the direction that you think. Just be consistent. Focus on your process, not the profits. Block out the noise, the people who are telling you that uh like just like myself telling me, people probably told you this too, but or asked you how much you realistically made as like liquid cash uh since you started. Regardless of if you started like me maybe 6 years ago and you're still not profitable. I've told people, like people have asked me, especially recently, Anthony, like how long have you been doing this for? About 6 years. How much money have you made? Maybe like $200. So you've been doing this for 6 years and $200 is all you have to show for it. Man, it sounds crazy. Like most people that know me, they tell me I'm delusional. They say I'm crazy. They even say you've been doing this for 6 years and you know that doing something for 6 years and not getting really any profit from it, that sounds like a broken system, and doing the same thing over and over and not getting the results you want is the definition of delusional. So people, if they heard that, they would probably quit. Me, I'm not a quitter. I go after what I believe in, and I believe in this process. So I'm gonna focus on it. I'm not gonna focus on the profits. I'm gonna just stick to what I think is working, stick to what is showing that is working. Not even just I think that it's working. I know that it's working because it's a no-brainer. I have an edge in the market. I am consistent. I am a disciplined trader. I believe in my strategy. I implement proper risk management. I don't overtrade, I don't over leverage, and that's really what it takes to become a successful trader. On top of being consistent, I'm disciplined, I show up, I put in the time, and I also still put in the time. So keep grinding, keep putting in the time, keep showing up to the charts, keep doing everything that you're doing, but also journal. That's also helped me because for about maybe 5 years straight that I've been doing this, like on and off. It wasn't just every day that I was, or every week. I did take some breaks within 6 years, the 6 year period that I started. So, but for 5 years that I have been trading in and out of the market, I have not journaled. I have not read any trading books, any trading or any psychology books, any books on your psychology when it comes to compound interest or compound effect. I have not stuck to certain things like a 1 to 2 at least risk to reward. I have not been consistent. I have not had a solid trading plan where I only work with a solid XYZ trading plan instead of ABC, XYZ, and EFG. I just stick to XYZ, 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 XYZ. And if it's not X, then it's YZ, YZ. I don't know if that makes sense, but hope that helps. Hope it did make sense. Um, just keep going. I know you guys are gonna, and at the end of the day, not everybody has the same vision as you do, so don't expect people to understand where you're coming from when you say, hey, I want to be a successful trader. I'm like working towards passing this funded trading, evaluation prop firm because people are going to say that's a scam. They're going to say that, you know, you've been doing this for how long and you haven't made you've made $1 yet. Just everything is noise and stay in your own lane. I'm encouraging you to just keep on going. I'm gonna still keep on going. I'm gonna be here for the long run. I'm not going anywhere. I'm here to stay. And excuse me, my goal, not only for myself, is to become a successful trader, but also for others. I want to become a successful trader so that I can also coach other people and teach them the ways to have access to the abundance of capital that's out there. And for people to be able to take what's theirs because there is virtually an unlimited amount of money that you can get out of the markets. And with that being said, if I'm able to become a successful day trader or swing trader, I can teach people across the entire world about how to become a successful trader. And that's huge because I want to change lives. I don't only want to change people's lives across, 32 states. I want to also change people's lives. And when it comes to everybody knows that I'm currently still doing insurance. The thumbnail of this video, I'm wearing a suit. I just came in from the office today. I created a video and the video that I created when I came home from the office, it like the mic, I don't know, for some reason the mic didn't pick up on me talking after I connected. So I had to redo the video, unfortunately. But yes, I'm still doing insurance. I'm likely going to obviously keep doing insurance because I don't have anything against doing or selling health insurance. But ultimately, my goal, once I'm able to get there, is first prove to myself that I'm a successful trader, show that I'm also a successful trader, and then mentor people so that they also become a successful day trader and are able to follow my footsteps, make as much as they want as well. That is my ultimate goal. And most people would put income over health first, which is, it seems like it's like it doesn't seem like something that would happen, but when you truly think about it, people do put income over health first, and I can understand that. Um, I see where people come from. So that's another reason why, it's one of the biggest reasons why I want to teach people how to become a successful trader, because I can also uh just help people across the entire world and help people make as much as they want. They can also teach other people how to make as much as they want, and that ultimately will just make this a better place, because everybody knows how everything goes at, times like this. So that's like an abundance portal that I have in my vision. I'm not sure what you guys think about that. If you guys have any thoughts on that, comment. Would love to hear what your comments or feedback is on that. But hope you guys enjoyed this video. Like, comment, subscribe, and enjoy your week. I will talk to you guys in a few days.